Hello again, and welcome to another tutorial. This time it will be the Mamiya-Sekor C 3.8 and a 127mm for the Mamiya RB. So it has some problem, this shutter, this lens. So let's see how it will not work. Everything actually looks fine, but if I cock the shutter like this and set it to something, well, it could be 1 second or 30 or whatever, it doesn't really matter in this case, and I press the unlock here, the little button here, and close the shutter, and if I fully, like the camera will do so, it should fire. But it happened, well, 2 seconds after. So let's do it again on something like, could be 1 second or so, doesn't really matter. Do it again, and then close. You see, the shutter actually works, but it's a bit delayed when fire the shutter. It doesn't matter if it is on the camera or not. So what to do about it? Yeah, we will take a look inside, and for that we need some tools. We need some sticky rubber like this. You can get them in a set of 9 different props with each diameter in each end. So I have just modified this one for working with bigger lenses or the curve of the lens. So, well, we need some compasses or lens tool. This is a huge one, adjustable, and it's very good for working with bigger lenses. I have a good grip, and I have some smaller, which I have modified to work with other lens shape or so. And of course we need some smaller tool like a JIS 00 screwdriver, cross head, a tweezer or a pair of tweezer, some dentist tool, which is very handy when working with lenses and cameras. And of course a blower and some nail polish remover and some sticky gloves, which is very good for taking apart bigger lenses if they got too hard to open. But we begin with the take off the nameplate, name ring, and for that I will use a rubber tool and unscrew it. And you see, in this case it will unscrew the ring instead and not the nameplate. So what to do about it? Well, just do so and take some sticky gloves on. This is gloves for working in the garden, but they are very sticky. So I have a good grip here on this, and put the rubber tool on, and then press, and hopefully it can get to work. It's really sticky. So what to do about that? well, I can unscrew this, but not the, you see, so I need to do something about it. So the nail polish remover comes in here, and I will just add some on a cotton bud or Q-tip, and add something on the edge, so it will go around, it will find its way all the way around, and melting the thread lock they have used. And just let it sit a little, and then it should be, I mean, it should be possible. Sometimes it's not enough. Wow, that's too heavy. Hold on. Okay, I will just try some different combinations of rubber tools to get that ring free. This is a bigger one, actually the biggest in the set of those rubber thingy. But let's see how it can maybe do it. No. Okay. So I will try another. This is from an older record player. It can fit over here, and maybe it will work. And just press very hard on it. It could be. That was really bad. That was weird. Okay, we try another one. Those are from Japan Hobby Tool, and very sticky rubber, which is also very good to work with lenses. Take one of those out. And see what we can do about it. Not good. Okay. Well, this is a plumber valve gasket, which maybe can be used for that task. But you see, sometimes it can be a problem to get those front ring loose. Yeah, let's see. It works pretty good. So if you go to a hardware store and look for those, they have them in very different diameter, and they're really sticky and very good with the nameplates and lenses that sits very tight. So I can just unscrew this and it's free. Now the next is the front lens group itself, and it needs to come free with a not for the rubber tool, because it's you will only probably unscrew the front ring that hold the front lens. So we need a better tool for that. So my very big compass comes in place here, and it can go on the two notches on each side there, and hopefully, and I can just lock the screw so it's there. Well, let's see if it can come free. If not, well, let's just see if it can work. Oh, It was okay. But if not, if the if the front lens group here was too tight, one could probably, you see there are tracks of thread locker on a hair. But if it's way too tight, one can actually add a little nail polish remover or acetone, doesn't really matter, but just a little. So when the lens sit in here, you simply just add some down here and it will find its way on the thread and soften it. So this is the front lens group. And put it aside, and then it's the front ring here. But the distance, I don't know really what's the use for that. Maybe it's a kind of, so you memorize when set on, yeah, a distance of meter, then you have the aperture depth of field scale. It's probably for that purpose, I don't know. But then I can unscrew this and get that free. There's nothing really special about that. And next, the you can see this ring here is, well, it's loose, but it's not free. So I need to unscrew the 4 screws down here with a JIS 00 screwdriver. I could use my small one here. I know it's a PH00, but I have just filed the very pointy tip, so it fit actually very good. But I could also use my real JIS. This is a Vera type called 851. Difficult to see. No, it cannot be. Yeah, there it is. It says it's a PH0, but it is actually a JIS because it's modified by Vera. So and it's called 851/4J. So and it's bit you simply buy at their website or in a good hardware store. So we can unscrew those, and when they are free, we come into the next ring. There are some before you get into the actual shutter. But it's not that difficult. But what the problem is at the moment, I don't know. But we'll see how it will go. Where's my tracer here? 1. Come on, little fellow. Oh, hey. Be nice. 2, 3, and 4. Here. So now then comes off the front ring. Could just put it aside, and then we are closer to the actual shutter. So this is the exposure ring, and it's just easy to take off. It's not screwed in, it's just held in place by the front ring and the shutter housing. Now Maybe I should take off the back lens group too. And it's actually just screwed in. Of that I could use my my rubber tool, but it can sit very tight. So let's see if it's possible to. Yeah, it's not really possible. So I think I will go for some nail polish remover and add it to the thread, which I will do on the back here. Simply just put on some here, and I will find the way around and hopefully come into the thread. So and it will also loosen the ring that hold the shutter assembly in place. So let's see how it will work. But I think I will use my my old compass here, which I have filed and grind, so it fits really good with working with lenses. And I already adjusted by the screw here to fit on the 2 notches, so I hopefully can take off the back lens screw. Wow, sits really tight, but I need to unscrew it. Sometimes it's not easy. Let's add some more of this stuff, and hopefully we can get it into to work. See, sometimes it's not that easy to unscrew those bigger lenses because of the thread lock they used. But let's see again if we can go. That was amazing. We'll just stay a little with the thread locker here. I mean the anti thread locker, and hopefully it can come free. So, and just wait a little. Let's see if this one maybe can be used for that task. No. It's really tight. But, yeah, I have to unscrew it. See, sometimes it's not that easy. Yeah, it was tight, but it helps with the anti-thread locker. So now I can just unscrew the back lens screw and continue my, see, and it actually comes into the thread and do some, it has some effect of loosen it. Yeah, this one will just be cleaned after. It's not a big problem. So put it aside, and then we can continue. So let's jump into the more parts we can disassemble. There are 3 screws around here that hold the exposure ring and this plate around here. So there shouldn't be any problem with that. It's very important to have a good JIS screwdriver. So if you use Phillips screwdriver, Phillips crosshead screwdriver, you could probably damage the screws if they sit too tight, and then you have a problem. So it's, where did it go? Here. So, and the last one. We take this apart. You see, this is 2 parts. The ring itself, the outer ring with the 2 grips here, and the actual exposure ring. And it can be taken apart. But remember, on the other side of this plate, there is a small steel ball. But if I take this out here, you will see how it looks. This is the click. I don't know what it's called, but it acts as a click. And there's a small steel ball here, so take care of that. And we can just put it together like this here. And yeah, no big thing there. And the screws can sit here. Now, and off with those. So now it's time to get into the actual shutter and take it out that way. So if one set it to the shutter has to be relaxed, because we need that when setting the shutter back into the housing. So it needs to be relaxed like this. So those 2 here, we know exactly where they sit on the other side, which will be in here somewhere and on the over here. So when loosen the back ring here, the retaining ring inside here, and take off the 3 screws, this, and this. And of course we need to take out the sink for the flash. Unscrew this. We can do it just right now, so it's done. There's a little spacer underneath, and it also has to sit correct. The screws are a bit small, not that long. And where is my tweezer? Here. Need to take that out. And the sink part here, self. You see, it looks like it sit that way, not the opposite. So this part has to go towards the front. So okay, how should it sit? Well, it should sit like this, as you can see. So this spring here, the loose end, the end of the spring, has to go towards the front. Now there is also a small spacer here that sits like this, and it can actually only sit one way. If you turn it the opposite direction, well, it sits a bit not correct. Now that was it. So we set this the mirror up. We set it actually to mirror up because it will get more space when taking out the actual shutter. Now the back retaining ring here should be very loose now at the moment because I add some thread lock, nail polish remover on the here, so it will soften it and hopefully it will work. So I use another one of those compasses as a lens tool, and which I also have filed and grind and bent the legs here so it fits the opposite direction of the other. It's for notches that is out to the edge, and the other one is better for the more internal. So it can there and have a good grip on it, so you not damage anything. Okay, it works. But I'm very sure if I didn't put on the nail polish remover or acetone, it should have been a hard work to unscrew it. So it's free, and I can just take it out. And sometimes it's actually good to, when showing it, and use some dentist tool to just take it out. So there it is. That's it. Now the shutter is at the moment held in place by the 3 screws around here. There, and there. So if I will when I unscrew those, have a good like a pancake you hold in your place in your hands and unscrew it. I can see they have used some thread lock here, so maybe I should not just add some nail polish remover to the screws, so it will be a lot easier to unscrew. So just a little, and let it suck in, and wait a little, and then it will be easier to not damage the screw, and easier to unscrew the screws. Because if those screws break because of too hard thread locker, you will have a really big problem. So this is really good. Yeah, it helps really good. So you can see the white stuff here on the thread is actually thread locker. Now Then it's actually time to push out the shutter assembly. Keep in mind that there are 2 or 3 spacers under the back part here. That is spacers that adjust the focus in the factory. There can be, well, 2, 3 in different thickness. So take care of that. And I think I will push the shutter that way out. So I'll just hold here and simply press on the brass ring here. Or I can just put the shutter on my desk and press down here, and at the same time pull up here. So, and you can see, and this is how it looks inside. And before moving anything, it's good to know, because when putting the shutter back into here again, I need to know exactly where the 2 pins here, or at least one, this pin down here, because it will it will get engaged with the pin over here. So just set a mark there and there. It will make it a lot easier. I'll not scratch it. There's no need for that because you will see the marks. So just use a good pen and set a mark here. So it's in line with the pin down here. Because when I assemble the shutter in again, it will be so much easier. And even that, it can be a little tricky to put in. Now, here you see the, and again, just to remember, I've put some arrows here because it will make it easier to remember where things has to sit. As I mentioned, there are 2 or 3 spacers here, or maybe more. In this case, there is only 2. It looks like that. So the first one goes in, and there. It doesn't really matter how their orientation is, there or there. It doesn't matter. It's all the same all the way around. But take care of those, especially the thin one, to not bend it too much. It make it difficult to put back. So now we have the actual shutter as it looks. See, this one, the XM, has to sit here, and it actually change the from M and X, M and X when pushing in the button here. So I will just set it to X. I think it doesn't matter. Now, to get into the actual shutter, we need to take off some parts. This whole assembly here, that is the depth of field. when you see through the lens and set your aperture to something, this is the way you actually can see how the effect is when you can see here the aperture is here, so when you can see it will work that way. I mean, it should work that way. Something is wrong, but yes, there is something wrong in this shutter. But normally when you push on the you can just try to cock the shutter here, see how it will go. So when the shutter is cocked, I can use my depth of field button here, but there's not really much effect on this one, so how about that? It should work. So it looks like something has come in a different place, or different it sits wrong in my opinion. Weird. Now let's jump into the shutter itself. There is a small screw here that holds the black cover. It's actually a kind of a light trap. So I need to unscrew that to get into the screws behind. So this is a tiny one, and we can take off this like here, and now it's we are exposed to the mechanism that will put the depth of field mechanism. So I can unscrew because I need to come back here and see what's here. Oh, it's actually loose. Well, those two screws here, this one and this one, need to be unscrewed. You see there's a crosshead screw there, and there's one there, and this one is a bit difficult to get to, but if I unscrew this screw here, and of course the other one, it should be easy to access. Maybe this one also needs to be unscrewed. I mean, yeah, loosen. So I'll just do so. Just loosen it. And no, it needs to be unscrewed too. So this one out of that. And then we can take off this assembly here. There's no need to take off the spring. Well, it will just be easier to put back. But yeah, it's not a problem. So this tiny screw, this one, and this one that holds the plate here, all need to come off. And again, just set a mark here for this plate because it's not completely sit in the middle. So just to be sure how it should sit, just set a mark somewhere. And so now I know where it sits when I take out the shutter assembly. So and they have put on some thread lock or something, not really much. A tweezer. So off with that. And this screw over here. Oh, where did it go? It goes here. Just use a magnetized screwdriver. It will make it easier. So now it's actually time to take off the front here from the lens from the shutter assembly, and then we are actually in. There's nothing really special about that. Maybe there's one thing here. Remember how this is facing, because it has to sit there. If not if the wheel, the small wheel in there pop out, it will simply lock the mechanism. But now we can take out the let's see here. Yeah. That's also a good thing when setting a small mark here, like we can do here, because it will remind you how should things sit. See, if you are confused about, okay, wow, how should it sit? But now we can actually take off the front here. There shouldn't be any problem with that. And this is how it looks. So, and now we are facing the shutter itself. Oh, I need to change battery on my camera, so I will be back in a moment. So we continue. Now, so it looks like in the shutter, and we can actually try to cock the shutter and see how it will go. So, and if I try to fire the shutter, what will happen? Not really much. Of course, the mirror up function is actually in place in action. See? So there is something sticky. So if I cock the shutter again, now I think I know what's wrong. So if I fire the shutter, you see the part of the cocking gear is actually a bit slow. So let's see if the actually the cocking gear is something over here. I mean the main spring. So I can just cock it again like that and fire it. Or I could just use the mirror up function to act as a shutter button. Is it possible? Yeah, it is. So I fire the shutter now. Of course nothing happened, but if I press here, look at this part here. So if you look closer to this here, or actually to this one. So if I press the mirror up, I mean I deactivated the mirror up function, it's a bit slowly in action. It should just be fired right off. So we need to go into the shutter itself. For that, there is a locking ring around here, and it's possible to access it from here. To just lift this up a little, and then all the way around you can just do like that, and it's free. So there it is. So taking off the actual ring for the exposure control, you simply just, I mean, this is set to 1 second here. So, and it's a good thing because then I can see if the shutter is actually working at 1 second. Oh, am I wrong? Nope. This is T, and the next one is, oh come on, this is 1 second. But I can just lift off this ring, and there will be no spring that will fool around. But this is how it looks. The problem here, as I see it, I will just zoom in a little, is that the this gear here is actually it looks like it's loose. So it's not the problem, as I thought. Well, there is something. This is the part of the cocking gear, and the main spring. This is here, and it looks like it's okay, but difficult to see right now. So I think I need to take off the cocking ring here, but you can see it's a bit sticky. So without knowing it, I would guess that it's a bit dirty or dry around here. So if I actually clean around here, it will be easier, and maybe lube it with something. Maybe not. I think it can come back to work. But as you can see here, it's a bit sticky and noisy. Pew, pew, pew. So I will simply just take off this ring, and it's attached with a spring here, which I can detach. Oh. So if you see here, I can detach the this spring here, and get the ring off. Something like that. And you can see all the dirt around here. I would guess is something like old sticky air. Okay, we just take a little cleaning, and it's the same with the ring here. There's also a lot of dirt around. So I would guess it's the problem with this one. So I'll just use some Isopropyl-alcohol, 99%, and clean it using a Q-tip. And I would guess there's a lot of dirt around here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think I got the problem. And it could be the same with, if you have the same problem with the shutter in your Mamiya camera. There's also around here. There it is, and of course on the other side too, because it's pressing against the plate here. There's also a lot of dirt and stuff. So I think it will be a good repair. Yeah, that's a really, because this plate was also very sticky to move when changing the exposure time. So I think it will be pretty good. One could also use lighter fluid to clean with, but well, now and then I use the lighter fluid and the isopropyl to clean. They are both good solvents to clean with. And then I need to go into the shutter itself and clean around the edge. Oh, hey. See, there's a lot of dirt here, which I think will be the problem with this shutter. Wow. There's really a lot, and it sits really just like glue. So and I think the 1 second was a bit too long. So I will also adjust it to 1 second or something like that. I mean, 1 second, yes, of course. So here it goes, really good. And I guess if I put the ring back on, now it will be more easy to move. Just need some more cotton buds. Hold on. Okay, let's continue with some small cotton buds. Just do the last cleaning here around. There's still a lot of dirt around here. But I think when it's done, the shutter will be back to life for the next how many years? So it looks pretty good. And also the cooking gear needs some cleaning because there's some stuff on here on the axle. So it's simply old lube or grease. That get it very sticky. So I think it will continue with good work after this treatment. Now I will just add a little special lube. This is something, if I can open it. This is called the premium lube, and it's with the Teflon. Add and to me it really works very good. So just a little amount of, so that should be enough. I mean, more than enough. So, and put it on here. And also here on the edge. I will just put on some, just a tiny drop on the Q-tip. And then work around here. It's not really that much lube it need, but it needs something. So this is just a tiny film of lube, and then let's see how it can work. So the spring needs to be attached to, where did it go? Here. The cooking gear is there. So the actual spring needs to be put oh, over here. Oh, out of frame. Sorry for that. So better. Now the spring itself here needs to be put on. Oh, come on. Needs to be put on this pin here in the bottom of the slow gear. So if I add this, put it on here, there are something to be aware of, because the first teeth here sit there, and when pressing down here, this pin in here needs to sit on this side. If not, it will not work. So, and this pin here needs to go there. So the things sit like that when the shutter is relaxed. And now all the way over to the other side, because there is some part here, this one that I move right now has to move freely, and then I can put the spring on the tiny pin here. Let's see if it can work. Sometimes springs are a bit annoying, but it sits there. Now, so it should look if it works proper. And just do an extra control of check of this pin here. Should be freely moved. And also this one has to move freely. And then I will just add the ring here, put it on, and push it over to the other side. So, something like that. And move it back and forth, because there's also a pin over here that needs to be free, or one could actually move it so, sit there, and things are in place. So I'll just add the locking ring here, and hopefully it will go much better. So let's set it to 1 second just for this, and cut the shutter. Oh, see, one thing I mentioned earlier, that this pin here has to sit deeper into here. So I need to to take off the locking ring here and get in to put this little part on the right place. So, and off with that ring. And as you can see here, where did it go? Here. Right here. This part here sits wrong. I mean, it's actually sit on the wrong side of this pin here. So if I move this a little, but I need to move this part too to get it free. And it's the more difficult part. So if we can push this over here, oh, and hopefully, no, I might stay there. Yeah, I need to take off the cocking ring because things sit wrong. So, and you see the this will move the the blades. So I also need to take this off. And move the this part here to free this part over here. I know it's not easy, but it's the only thing I can do about it. So if I move that here, so it's stick like that, then it should be possible to move the blades. And I actually need to move this even more. So, and if it's possible to push this in here, then it should be possible to have Okay, now I do not have 3 hands. It would be very handy. So now it's better because, as you can see here, I can move this on this side and it should stay there. So now the cocking mechanism should work. So I can just add this on here and it should stay there like this. Now the cocking ring itself comes on and it should stay like here. I will add the spring after. So now things are almost there. This plate here, this part down here, which I move, see, it should move freely. And of course this pin over here also have to sit there, and then I can push down. Also this one has to be free. And then I can attach the spring to the pin over here, and hopefully it gets things to work. So it should stay there, and this one here, set it to something 1 second and push on the spring here and it comes on. And then the pin over here should also move free, so. And here we are. So, and the locking ring. Now, things are back in place. And then it should be possible to cut the shutter. Not really. No, because this one sits wrong. Yep. So of course this one has to sit, this part here, this pin here should stay on this side and cock the shutter this way. So I was a bit wrong. Something was right and something was wrong. So let's see if I can get the plate off again and then move this on the other side. See? It comes on the wrong side again. No. Well, let's do it again. One more go. And then off with the cooking gear and then move this here. So it'll stay there, hopefully. And move this here. Well, it's not easy, but who said it should be that? So, and now here we are. Fully open the shutter. And move this part here so it can go on the other side of so. And here we are. You see, now it sits correct, because this pin has to start here where the part of the cocking gear is. So time to put things back in again. This one is okay. Now the cooking gear goes in. Oh, there. This one goes in here and should stay there. And the cooking ring. Where did my tweezer went? There. And you should sit there. So here we are, back on track. And this little pin, move it, and this little pin also have to move. So both of them have to move. And now this pin over here also have to move freely. So it is. And then I can add the spring at the same time by holding here. And then I think things should work as they should. So they see this one here is actually correct. all springs sits right. Also this one and this one also sits correct. Now, then I can add this ring, the exposure ring here, and remember the small pin over here, so sits there as they should. So this also sit okay. And then the locking ring. So now then it should work. See, here I can actually cock the shutter and so, and it will act as a mirror up. So if I, yeah, it works pretty good. So if I fire the shutter like the camera will do, right, now it's back in business. But I think the slow gear is a bit too slow. Let's see how it will. It will go if I cut the shutter again and see if I fire it at 1. Will it be at 1 second? Well, it's not bad. But let's do it again. Yeah, it's okay. Without having my shutter tester. So that's actually that. So it's time to put it back in again in the lens cover. So the front comes on here. Where did it go? Here. And it should sit like, therefore it's good to set some marks. Where did it go? Over here. So without setting a mark, I mean the repair manual do not tell that much about how to disassemble or assemble the shutter itself. It's good, but it could be better. So therefore it was good I set some mark here, so I know exactly where things should sit. So time to assemble the shutter again. And then it's back in business. So the next 2 screws. Will go in, and everything looks like it should. Yeah. And the last one here. And the aperture mechanism that used to the depth of field, and it should go on between here and there, and it's easy to put on. stay there. And with a flathead screwdriver, so, and the other one over here. Don't tighten it too much, I mean, so, and the last one here, just move it a little, it's easier to add the screw. It works. And then the cover here, it can only sit one way. So this goes on here. So, and the really tiny screw, and it sits there. Oh, so there. Okay, see, it has to sit, the little tab here has to sit over, I mean above the other pin, so it can move freely. But the repair manual do not say anything about it. So it's good to see the exploded view of the different lenses, but it says nothing about the details on how to disassemble or assemble. So it looks like this fellow is back in business. Now it's time to put the shutter assembly into the housing. So I'll just zoom out a little, because the two spacers that is here sits there, so it is. And then it's time to find the correct pin, which is this one, and it will engage with this one here. It was therefore it's important to set marks on some of the parts, so you know exactly where it should sit when assemble it again. This the MNX should also sit here, there. But the difficult part is to put the housing here over, and I mean engage the pin here on both sides here with the two notches here, each side of the shutter assembly. So if I flip it over and try to put it on, you must press here on the this part, the MNX, because it will make it easier to put the back part over. And I think it doesn't really matter if it's set on M or X. So I will just set it on X. there. Come on, there. Should be there. Now, now the difficult part is, where did my 2 pins go? There. So if I do like this, it should be possible to put it over. But you also have to be sure on how the 3 holes around the edge, the 3 screws, one there, there, and there's something under my finger here. Oh. So this one has to come over, not the, you do not put this over in here. So something like that. Where's my 2 arrows? Here. And you also have to press on the spring. Not easy. And take care of the 2 spacers. And if we are lucky, you see the cover also here has to come in. It can be a little annoying. As you can see here, it comes on the wrong side. So there. See, therefore, it pops out here because of this pin sits there, right? So we try again. 2 spacers here. Where did my 2 arrows go? A lot of things to take care of. But hopefully it will make it. Sits there, it sits there. It's not fully correct in place. The repair manual does not tell anything about how to put the shutter assembly into the housing. So maybe if one manipulate, oh, it says click. I don't think it's there. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, see, some of the problem is the spacers here will sit wrong, and see, there is a kind of a connection, so it just needs to be fully on. So here we are. Hopefully sits there. And is it possible to cock the shutter and fire it? Hopefully it is. Yeah, and so and then it should be possible. Okay, yeah, of course. The mirror up function. So, well, it's alive. What is it set on? So now it's set on 1 second. And fired. Well, it's back in business. So maybe the 1 second is a bit too long. Shame I do not have the shutter tester right here. But it seems to work. Correct. I need some nail polish remover because there's some thread lock on here. Just a tiny amount. So, and the two other screws goes in here. And I do not fully screw it in because I need to put the retaining ring on the back. So, and this ring has to come in first, and it will hold everything in place. So where did my tweezer go? Not my tweezer, but my lens tool. So sits there. And just screw it in and tighten it. So, and it sits good in place. And now I can fully tighten the screws around the body. Don't tighten them too much, they are tiny. There it is. And yeah, I could just put in the back lens group. Okay, hold on a second. Just do some small cleaning. So, around the edge here. So, and it will look better. So it is. And then put this in here. Then try to cut the thread. And then I can use my rubber tools to screw it in to then tighten it. So there, and just tighten it gently. So now the flash sync connection. Come on. Load the screwdriver before, because then it will be easier to just screw it in. This goes here. And then this one. Well, I can just put it on here. Sit like that. Oh, come on, little fellow. So it should be that. Okay. Hey, focus. Then add it here. The small plate. And then screw it in. So we are almost there. And this plate goes into place where the aperture ring and the fork has to go. This fork has to go into the pin in here, as you can see down here, and engage with that. Hopefully. You can see it works good. Then screw in the plate. Oh, come on. So. And then we are almost back into normal order. The exposure ring has to engage with the pin here, like that. And the front ring has to sit here. Remember the distance or the exposure, the red mark here has to go in line with the other red marks. So, and 4 screws. And second last, and then we are there. Now the front tube has to be screwed in here. Goes freely, and then the actual front lens screw has to come in. Hold on, there was a tiny something. And then it's ready. So it's important to find the, when going backward, to find the correct thread, and then the big tools to just tighten it. So, and then the nameplate. Going a little backward. To catch the thread. Click. And we are almost there. Tighten the nameplate. And it's back in business. So, wow. See the depth of field working? It didn't work before. And the exposure, how did it go? Do it again. So now it will actually work. That's pretty good. So that's all for now. Hope you can use the info about this lens, the C group. So bye bye.